AskReddit, subscribe for more videos.
Real life 40-year-old virgins, what's your story? A coworker is 51, never had girlfriend nor had sex. Nature has been a jerk to him. He's an uglier version of Danny DeVito, with strabism, none of the acting abilities. Did this guy just call Danny DeVito ugly? Technically he didn't. It's the implication. All he needs is a wad of hundreds and he will be ready to plow. Don't forget the monster condom for his magnum dong. A friend of mine is 39 and has never lost it. He's super religious, has had girlfriends, but never got married or anything, so he never had sex. Well, that's as far as I know. Maybe he hasn't, is ashamed of it, maybe he's gay and is in the closet, maybe he's asexual, I don't know. Normal beer drinking, playing video games, going to bars, and traveled the world sort of a guy, decent looking but not great. He's maybe a little out of shape, but I wouldn't call it ugly. Thing is, he wants to be married before sex and also has super, weirdly high standards. Like, now that he's his age, he still won't settle for anything less than a Kate Upton that's ultra-Christian. As someone who is a fairly conservative Christian, I can confirm that most older, unmarried Christian guys are looking for supermodels. I think they are stuck being single because they are thinking, if I'm only going to sleep with one woman, she better be stunning. I went to seminary where single women outnumbered single men by a lot. One of the few single guys dated the prettiest girl in school for a few weeks. They broke up when he realized she was a horrible person, but despite her not being much of a loss and having his pick of the other girls, he fell to pieces and couldn't go to classes for a while. But she also only gets to sleep with one man, so he better be Brad Pitt with that attitude. I'm not sure which makes my vagina dry up faster, this bullshit or basement-dwelling fedora nice guys. I've got a friend like this too, a little older, and I think he's had some one-night stands but never a relationship. Average-looking guy, very successful career-wise, but won't consider anyone that's not a supermodel, and then dismisses asking them out because they'll always have guys hitting on them. It's some sort of self-sabotage, but I'm not sure why. He doesn't mope about it or ask us to set him up. He just seems to enjoy being by himself. My brother got his first girlfriend age 38. There is hope for everyone. Not 40, but I know one guy who has a micro penis and is physically unable to have sex. Shame too, because he's decently good looking and funny, makes out with a lot of girls, is 6'3" etc. completely normal. Only know he's a virgin due to him admitting JT to me when he was drunk. He's early to mid-30s. Edit, he is a virgin in terms of vaginal intercourses. I assume he's done other shit. He needs to find himself a nice girl with vagus and they can have lovely non-penetrative sex together for the rest of their lives. That's what I'm thinking. If you're a nice person and confident, plus being good looking helps, you should still be able to have sex, even if it's not traditional intercourse. As a woman, I can attest that there are plenty of ways to get off. I was friends with a guy in college. Super nice guy. Very attractive. Sweet and funny. One night we made out BC, we both were unattached at the time and I'd seemed like a fun idea at the time, smile. We had a discussion beforehand about the fact that we were friends and we didn't want the relationship between us to change, we'd still be friends. So we're off. Making out on the couch in my apartment. We're both having fun. Heavy petting ensues and I end up giving him a BJ. Smallest penis I've ever seen. Maybe 2 to 3 inches hard. I really felt for him, as I can't imagine that would work well for sex, which we didn't have, only the one makeout session. It's truly unfair. I know a 34-year-old who has never even kissed a girl. Crippling social anxiety. Also hung up on a girl from 15 years ago who has never been interested. I saw a pretty tipsy girl come onto him at a bar once and he almost jumped out of his skin. He was new to having that shit. I've known socially well-adjusted good-looking dudes whose fear of getting rejected is so large that they will refuse to put themselves out there and flirt back, even if the girl initiated. Edit, and I know the girls are interested because they literally say your friend is cute. This was always my underlying feeling with him. He also has really high expectations of a first time, like our very attractive friend was like, let's just sleep together so you realize it's not that big of a deal, and he was like, no, it has to be perfect. Now I don't know about everyone reading this, but my first time was absolutely not perfect and I kinda knew it at the time but was fine with that and still am. I have a friend in this situation. She has never been kissed, even. She is a little bit heavy, but not obese, and she is okay looking. I think it is just confidence. It is almost always a confidence thing. I dated a girl for a while, she was on the heavier side, not obese but not skinny. She was constantly questioning why I was with her and talking down about herself, saying that I could do so much better no matter how much I reassured her that I wanted to be with her. Eventually her lack of confidence and constant doubt of our relationship led to us breaking up, along with a couple of other issues, but that was the main cause. I know someone who was 33. Lots of reasons. Religious/strict upbringing meant no way to interact with the preferred gender until after high school. Overweight in college, which wasn't actually a problem for men finding her attractive, but it killed her own self-confidence, so she never recognized when men hit on her. Hard investment banking career meant working all hours and getting much fatter, so the cycle kept getting worse. Had lots of guys friends but never recognized anyone hitting on her. Finally got in shape, got confidence, lost virginity at weight she was in college when she thought she was fat. Ironic. When I start getting down on myself about my weight, I think, I wish I was as fat as the first time I thought I was fat. I'd be 125 pounds. Body image and perceptive are weird things. When I was in 6th grade, 125 seemed so enormous. Now, almost 30, 125 seems so frail for my height. I am 41 years old and had sex only once with a prostitute. I think women find me weird because of autism. My husband is autistic. I'm neurotypical, with a background in child psych and special needs. He never feels like a chore. We face some challenges other couples don't, but we have also skipped many common challenges typical couples do face. He's the best partner I could have stumbled across in my life. He's loving, hardworking, physically affectionate, a great cook, supportive of my career goals and well-being, and absolutely the steady calm to my storm of busy extroversion. Coming home to him is my idea of a vacation. All without much in the way of talking. Hi. I'm a lonely 29/am autistic. I've never been in a serious relationship. I've always observed others' relationships and learned from their mistakes. Now that I'm 29, I have put myself out on the market. I've gone on Tinder and I'm getting lots of interest. Ultimately I feel bad because if this person really wants to get to know me, they will learn that I'm not a social butterfly and that we would face challenges other couples wouldn't. But hearing you say that you skipped many common challenges that other couples face gave me a little hope. I've spent so many years learning from others' mistakes that I know this is how my situation would be. Thanks. I actually work with one Hess, like 45-ish? Maybe closing in on 50. Hess, a strange guy, works too much and way too hard, saves all his money, is generally stingy. But kinda social. I know he wants it, but Hess too focused on work to actually make it happen. Some people work hard to escape depression. Source, I am one. I lost my virginity at age 40. I had opportunities but just didn't realize them at the time. Girls would come flirt with me but I would just freeze and my mind would go blank. I am very shy and quiet. I sometimes think I am autistic but have never been diagnosed or tried to get diagnosed. I always thought something was wrong with me and I knew I wasn't normal. I also didn't drink a lot or party. I invited a coworker over to watch a movie one night and she is also very quiet and shy. I let her take the lead and let it happen. That was 2 years ago and we are engaged now. Congrats. It's kinda cute that you found someone so similar to yourself in that respect. Then it happened. Some of us are just ugly in both looks and personality. No sob story or long-winded explanation needed. Years of intense social rejection and depression don't help, but they aren't the primary cause. Some people are just inherently unapproachable. To be fair, a lot of people directly judge your personality based on your looks. I've firsthand seen people go from being creepy asshole to fun in 60 pounds. Since there aren't a lot of serious answers, I was, still am, the love interest of a 39-year-old virgin. English isn't my native language, please bear with me. About 10 years ago I joined an online gaming community. It was small and I became friends with a lot of people there. We met up at different events in real life. Since I was one of very few women there, the obvious thing happened and 2 guys developed a crush on me. One of them is now my boyfriend of 8 years, the other is the virgin in question. I cut contact about 6 years ago because he made me uncomfortable and insulted my boyfriend several times, but I still check his Twitter from time to time. He claims he still loves me after 6 years without contact. That guy is one of the most socially awkward people I've met. It took him 10 years to get his uni degree. He still lives with his parents in his old bedroom. He's never had a proper job. He does work, but he does freelance work for about 10 hours a week. He's constantly complaining about how stressful his job is. That's a slap in the face for all people that work full-time, really. He's also constantly whining about having no friends and no girlfriend, but he talks about women like we're a completely different species. Although he doesn't have a lot of money, he spends it like crazy. He's often spending 1,000 plus euros a month on action figures and video games, but he doesn't even play them. He has shelves full of unopened video games. I'm not kidding. And he doesn't even make that much money, so I guess he's getting a ton of money from his parents. He's completely dependent on everyone else. Every couple of months his computer catches a virus and he has to bring it to the computer repair shop. But since money doesn't seem to be an issue, he doesn't even try to solve the problem on his own. Speaking of money, his parents are old and they have a cleaning lady. First of all, why not let him clean? He lives with them and has nothing to do most of the time. But no, the cleaning lady also cleans his bedroom. Like why? His personal hygiene is awful and he drinks and smokes a lot. He's proud of his greasy hair, etc. He often tweets stuff like "I haven't showered in 5 days." Just to get attention. It's sad really. He posts unflattering pictures of him constantly and is like, "Look how ugly I am." Well, he's not attractive. He's smaller than me, I'm slightly above average height for a European woman, overweight and wears clothes that look like they're from the 80s. Every time I got into a new hobby he did the same to feel connected to me. I got into photography and bought a DSLR, he got one too and never really used it. I went on a diet, he did too. I started making YouTube videos, he bought a cam and made one video too. Actually, with all the expensive action figures he has, he could definitely become successful on YouTube, but he seems to have no drive to actually do things. He even applied to the company I was working for. I'm a huge Pokémon fan. On one event he wore a shirt that said "I'm the biggest Pokémon fan on the planet" or something along those lines. He was 32 years old at that time and he wore it to impress me. Our community went to a bar later that night and he decided to light his lighter directly in front of my face. He wasn't even drunk or anything. It almost burned my glasses/hair. While he's not dumb, he just doesn't seem to use his brain sometimes. He falls in love with literally every woman that gives him a tiny bit of attention and he doesn't get when people are not interested. He claims that if it wasn't for my boyfriend, we would be together now. Hell no, he asked me out on a date after getting together with my boyfriend. He insults my boyfriend openly on social media. Speaking of social media, he has crushes on a ton of female celebrities and he collects nudes. Apparently he has a huge folder of tons of nudes of different famous people. I don't know if a lot of guys do this, but it's creepy AF if you ask me. He also had a date with a woman from Twitter once. I don't know what happened, but she blocked him afterwards. Honestly, I wasn't surprised. That guy is just a total train wreck. He's getting help apparently, but he also has a crush on his psychologist, so I highly doubt it's working. This is just the tip of the iceberg really. There's a ton of really weird things he's done in the past, but that would be way too long to write down. TL, doctor, I know a guy who's 39 and still a virgin. He's extremely socially awkward, has issues and overshares online. Edit, typos. Edit 2, since people keep asking why I know so much about him, when I was still active in that online community, a handful of people chatted almost every day, both of us included, so we've shared a lot of personal info. I also check out his Twitter every now and then and he's oversharing on there. I'm 30. Fat, otherwise unattractive, poor, and socially awkward. I work for an auto glass company and frequently go entire months without interacting with a woman within 10 years of my age that is not genetically related to me. I've fully accepted that I am going to die a virgin. Get a hobby, exercise, go on a diet. Do it properly and it takes 6 months, sometimes less, for people to really notice. It's never too late to turn it around, if it's what you want to do. So here we go. If this does not fit here, then delete it. My friend of 40 years was a 46-year-old virgin. She had a strict Christian upbringing and wanted to stay pure for marriage. She had a long-time boyfriend that finally promised to marry her after an ultimatum from her. A few months before the wedding he came out to her as gay. She is not the most attractive woman but a great person. She is my long-time friend. She confessed this all to me and asked if I would please have sex with her. I struggled for weeks with this and made it clear that I was not wanting a relationship with her. She told me she was sick of not having sex and wanted to know what it all was like. So I finally did it, and yes, she was a virgin. It was relaxed, kind of methodical, and a bit funny. I talked a lot with her about sex and relationships. Anything she wanted to know or try was fine with me. She opened up an avalanche of questions she couldn't ask anyone. I was afraid on so many levels, but it truly helped her. She got extra self-confidence, moved through some relationships, and is now engaged. Weird but true. Still my friend. I'm sure Reddit will hate me now, but I hope if anyone is struggling out there, I just hope you can find someone to trust and open up. Your penis literally made someone's life better. 42 here. I thought I had a date once, it wasn't. It sort of falls into 3 time periods. Age 17 to 25, I asked some girls/women out. They all just plain out said no except for the one. The last few years of the period, I stupidly started to ask why, and because you was the top answer. Until the one went on in more detail and made me realized what because you meant, and I gave up. I threw myself into my studies, researched anything that interested me, and just read a lot about a lot. Age 25 to 32, I just didn't try. Continued my self-studies. Sure, there were women I would love to ask out, there was even one I did, quite to my own surprise. Of course she said no and then some, but I was still me and they would have said no. I had a demanding/abusive job from age 28 to 30 that took everything from me. I joined a gym at 30. Age 32 now, I lost 97 pounds between age 30 and 32. Took up yoga and running. I think I noticed women noticing me, but I had convinced myself women don't find me attractive, so I had to be imagining things. My workout routine has lessened since then and I have gained back some weight, but thankfully more muscle than fat. I learned in my late 20s that I have a personality type that makes me hard to get to know, which means dating is particularly difficult. It was at this time I thought I was a high-functioning autist. I do have many, but not all, traits of one. I've never been good at social stuff, so I have huge disadvantage in the sociality needed for dating. In the last 5 years or so, I began to wonder if I have social anxiety disorder instead of, or maybe in addition to, autism. And in all this time I've worked overnights, which adds another difficulty in dating. I get the idea that I'm the better than nothing guy, but I don't want to be the last option for someone. I'd rather like a woman who wants to be with me and not has to be with someone. I also don't think it would be fair to burden a woman with my quirks and foibles that I've gotten over the years. Also, the social stigma of being over 40 and never even having a date seems like an obstacle in itself. ITT, impossibly high standards, Christians, and Redditors. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button and comment below letting me know. It helps the channel and lets me create more content just like this. If you do like this type of content, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an upload.